Hey everyone, welcome back to another powerful episode of Mind Over Matter. And today we are joined by lovely guest, Laura Bratton. So welcome to the show, Laura.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Amazing. So, dear listeners, before we delve into the discussion today, because today's topic is very great, where we'll be navigating through the change, we'll discuss in details. But before we do that, I'd love to introduce you with Laura. So, Laura is an author, speaker, and coach whose story is a living testament to the courage in the face of change. So, diagnosed with an eye disease at just 9 years old, she faced the life altering transition of becoming blind. But yet, through grit and gratitude, she not only adapted but actually thrived, earning degrees, writing a book, and founding UBI Global to empower others. And together we will explore what it really takes to navigate change with the resilience, hope, and strength. So why to wait? Let's get started. Welcome to the show again.
Thank you.
Amazing. So Laura, change often feels like losing control, but how did you personally begin to build a sense of stability during such a profound transition?
So it all started by the support around me. So as I was losing a significant amount of vision, as I was becoming completely blind, my mindset was, I can't do this. This change is too hard. I can't. It's too overwhelming. I can't. Is I was saying that, and as you said, losing stability and losing confidence just in myself,
Mm.
it was the support around me that helped me slowly regain the stability. And also, it wasn't just one major moment where I woke up one day and said, "Oh, now I'm confident. Now I feel great. I feel mentally stable. Let's go." Rather, it was a small series of events. So, one practical example, what I mean by the support, it was having the support of my parents to say, yes, it's overwhelming, and let's take it moment by moment by moment to build your confidence to regain that mental stability. So the anxiety decreases, the depression decreases. It was the teachers at school who made accommodations so that I could still continue through school. It was the friends who continued to be my friends, and just we did our friendship was based on just who we were, not
Mm.
the fact that, oh my gosh, now you're blind, so we can't be friends anymore. So
Yeah.
it was the support around me
Mm.
that started to rebuild my mental stability.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally agree. Definitely. And were there moments when you felt like giving up, and what pulled you back through?
100%. There were countless moments where it felt easier to give up. It felt like if I give up, that's just easier.
Yeah.
This living is just too hard. And so again, obviously it was the support, as I mentioned, and it was also realizing the mindset of, yes, in this moment, I feel like giving up. And all I have to do is focus on living for the next moment rather than saying, okay, for the rest of my life, I'm never going to feel like giving up again. Just creating that mindset and learning that mindset of living moment by moment by moment. And then those small moments build on each other. So the small moments become an hour, and the hour becomes half a day, and the half a day becomes a whole day. So again, it wasn't one major shift. It was creating that mindset of, all I have to do is focus on this moment. Even though this moment is really, really hard and really painful, that's all I have to focus
Mm. Exactly. I mean, that perspective makes resilience feel uh, less like perfection and more like persistence. So that's very true. Yeah.
on. That's well said. 'Cause that
Mm.
was so much of my depression. I was focused on being
Mm.
perfect.
Yep. Yeah.
But focusing on is just being persistent, being resilient, being courageous, that also changed my mindset. So yes, I'm glad you said that, because that was exactly my lived experience.
Mm. And like also like you talk about gratitude, grit as the key element. So how do you see the two working together? Like when someone is in the middle of hardship.
So in my own lived experience,
Mhm.
in the midst of hardship, and even now, so many years later, I'm still a person without sight in a sighted world. So obviously there's still hardship and adapting and change. The balance that I've found in the grit and the gratitude is the grit is again what I just mentioned, that choosing to believe in myself, choosing to have courage moment by moment by moment. And the grit also looks like validating my feelings.
Mm.
So, just as you mentioned, having that perfect, everything has to be perfect perspective rather than just the persistent progress, resilient perspective, choosing that over perfection.
Yeah.
That's how I define grit. That's how I believe grit.
Mm.
Balanced with that is the gratitude. And I want to make it very, very, very clear, the gratitude that I've developed, that I've cultivated, the mindset that mentors have taught me is not that mindset of being grateful for everything all the time, walking around being positive and happy.
Mm.
Rather, it's the grit and the gratitude of focusing on and having the mindset of what helps you navigate through the change, being grateful for that. So that's where the balance comes together, because the grit allows me to acknowledge my feelings, choose to move forward in the moment, and then
Yeah.
also choose to be grateful for, no, I'm not grateful for the blindness, but I'm grateful for the guide dog that helps you navigate the world.
Mm.
So that's how I've found that they work together in balance.
Mm. Exactly. And and like navigating change often requires letting go of the old identities. Um, so what identity did you have to release to embrace your new path? So what is it?
So for me, this was a huge part of the grief process. I
Mm.
had to come to that place of letting go the identity as a sighted person and be comfortable in my new normal as a person without sight.
Mm.
And a big part of the identity, it wasn't just the physical sight or no sight, it was the identity of I'm still worthy. I still have meaning and purpose as a person without sight. So again, going back to what you mentioned earlier about the perfection, my perspective was, well, I have to be perfect and have sight and be quote normal. To me, having less sight wasn't as worthy. So I
Mm.
had to come to that place of identity of accepting my new normal, accepting what is, that yes, I am a person without sight. And that doesn't make me perfect or not perfect or worthy, less worthy. It's just, it is what it is. So coming to that place of acceptance.
Mm. Exactly. Totally agree. Totally agree. Yeah. And how did releasing that open the door to the new possibilities?
Being in that place of accepting my identity, that released that deep anxiety, the deep depression. So it helped those difficult, painful emotions become less and less and less. So it very much helped me release that anxiety and depression, but also move forward with a greater joy. And the joy that wasn't based on, again, that identity focused on, I'm joyful because I have sight. No, it's just being joyful because I am who I am. So that was a huge release that helped me build momentum going forward that wasn't completely focused on the past and the depression of, I don't have sight, so life's not working.
Exactly. Got it. Yeah. So, wow. And like, I mean, I have to say, I mean, that it really resonates deeply because so many of us resist change by clinging to like who we were instead of who we are becoming. So,
Yeah.
that's something definitely I'll say. And uh, uh, also, you have broken the barriers, like becoming the first blind student to earn a Masters of Divinity at Princeton, right? So, uh, what mindset helped you push past the doubts of others?
The mindset, and this is where the gratitude was incredibly healing. It was focusing on the mindset
Mm,
of gratitude, again, allowing that, having that being my perspective of, I am grateful for this opportunity. No, they never had a person who's blind before, yet I'm grateful that they're willing to meet my needs. So I could have a perspective of being frustrated and aggravated and angry. Why do I have to be the first? This is too hard. All those just anger. Yet choosing to focus on the gratitude totally shift my mindset from anger to one of empowerment and one of opportunity of, look at the opportunity I've been given. I have the opportunity
mm,
to go through this program. I wasn't even focused on being the first or being the 10th or whatever. It wasn't about the number. It was about, I had this opportunity to be part of this program. So
okay.
gratitude was an incredible healing source with the mindset of embracing the opportunity rather than resisting the opportunity.
Mm, got it. Mhm. So, like, did you ever struggle more with your own inner doubts than the external ones?
Absolutely. I was definitely much more critical and doubted myself more in my mind, in my emotions. Again, it plays back, circles back to what you mentioned, that perfection. Always wanted to have, oh, I'm perfect, I'm good.
Mm,
Inside, I was so critical and doubting myself. And again, that's where the balance of grit and gratitude was literally a life changer. Because in that moment of doubting myself, I learned to validate that feeling, to give myself, okay, yes, I'm doubting myself right now. That's how I'm feeling. What am I going to do about it? Am I going to let that doubt control me forever, or even not even forever, for the next moment? Or am I going to say, yes, I'm doubting myself right now. And so the next moment, I choose to trust myself. So again, it's all about what I do with that feeling of doubt.
perfect, perfect. So, like, I mean, for the listeners who are facing change right now, whether big or small, what's the one step they can take today to move through it with more grace? What do you say?
The first step is to acknowledge the difficulty. Acknowledge, this change is really hard. This change is not what I want. This change is difficult. This change is making me angry or anxious. And the reason I say that is, what I found within myself and with so many other people I work with, our immediate reaction in change is push forward, push through, ignore the feelings, figure out how to get through the change. When we stop and have that first step be to stop and acknowledge what we're feeling and acknowledge the pain and acknowledge the difficulty, that then gives
Mm,
us control and the power to, okay, what are we
mm.
going to do?
Do you believe that the small steps matter, like more than giant leaps in times of transition?
Yes, absolutely. The small steps are more important
Mm,
because when we take those small steps, they build on each other.
mm,
So typically what I found within myself and with working with others, when we take a giant step,
Yeah.
That's not sustainable. But when we take small steps and slowly build, that's sustainable and that's resilient. So
Yeah.
that's a great perspective that we all need to have in times of change. It's not about making that huge one step to navigate through the change. Rather, it's about making those moment to moment decisions that slowly get us through the change.
Exactly. Exactly true. Yeah. And I mean, that definitely makes feel approachable, something listeners can start practicing right now. So that's amazing. And uh, uh, so I mean, thank you so much, Laura, for sharing your journey. And I mean, um, I'd say like your journey shows us that change, no matter how daunting, can be navigated with courage,
Yes.
persistence, and an open heart. So, dear listeners, her story reminds us that while we may not control that what life brings, but we can choose how we meet it. So if you are standing at the edge of change, take Laura's wisdom with you. Start small, hold on to gratitude, and trust that the unknown may just hold your greatest growth. So, Laura, if someone wants to connect with you, what would be the great medium to connect?
The best way is my website. laurabratton.com has all the resources on my book, the speaking, and the coaching.
Amazing, amazing. So, dear listeners, what I'll do is I'll put all the links into the show notes so that you can easily reach out to her. And with that hope, I'll say, please start small and be mindful. So, thank you so much.